You are now listening to Relationship Talk with Juanito.
Welcome to Relationship Talks with Juanito. Today I sit down with a friend of mine, Big G from St. Louis, and we have a discussion about relationships. We talk about men in relationship, we talk about women in relationship, and a lot of discussion about how we got to where we are in today's society and relationships. Sit back and enjoy the ride. All right. Hey man, what's up?
What's happening with you, baby?
Hey, it's been a while since the last time we seen each other.
Yes, sir. You jumped in town on me real quick. Came in for your baby's graduation. You dipped out on me real quick.
Hey, listen. Whenever I come up there, it's real quick. It's rare that I come into town and I'm there for more than 24 to 48 hours.
Okay, I understand. I understand loud and clear.
Yeah, man. So hey, I wanted to bring you on because I see what you be doing on Facebook and Instagram. I see you be putting your little relationship tips out there and based off of what you see and you hear out there in the streets.
Yeah.
So I wanted to bring you on and just to kind of get a gauge on what some of the things that you're seeing out there so that everybody can get an opportunity to maybe learn something from you.
Man, I don't know. I don't know. They won't learn too much from me, but when dealing in this time era with searching for love, it's kind of wild. You know what I'm saying? You hear all the little Facebook posts and all the women telling, what I'm saying, don't take me to the Cheesecake Factory and gotta pay this. They not going 50-50. And I just be like, that's stupid. You gonna walk into Macy's and tell Macy's you want to pay full price for the clothing, or you gonna take that 50% off and be happy to only pay half. You know what I'm saying? So
So why do you think that why do you think we're in the state that we're in right now?
uh, personal opinion. It seems like we're getting away from the fabric. You know what I'm saying? Now we're understanding that relationships and marriage and stuff mainly is transactional. I'll be talking to a couple of my little partners at work. They see me as a big homie, so I try to tell them, hey, if you look at the aspect, and this is just once again a personal opinion, uh, relationships and marriage and stuff has become transactional. A lot of women, not all, but a lot of women see relationships as a form of taking all of their problems and just giving it to one man, basically transferring energy.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Taking you come into my life, you have to solve all my problems. I can continue to make problems, so you have to solve all my problems. So you take care of all the problems, the bills, my clothing, my upkeep, my everything, and I'm allowed to do whatever I want to do with my money and whatever. And so it's I blame social media. This phone, this computer has allowed manipulation in our minds about our women and men.
Okay, so just so that everybody can get an understanding of where you are at. How old are you?
Whoo, man. No, I ain't scared to say that. I'm a 47-year-old guy, man. I'm a 47-year-old man. You know what I'm saying?
Okay,
But I'm totally good though.
hey, I ain't too far behind you. I'm 43 myself. So, and what is your relationship status?
Man, relationship status. I'm out there. No, no, you know what I'm saying? I have someone. I'm a divorcee though. I am a divorcee. Uh, so what the women would say now, who hurt you? Yeah. Well, she probably did. My divorce probably did hurt me. I ain't even gonna lie because I took on all the debt. You know,
Well, hey, listen, I completely understand that as a divorcee myself who kind of went through the same thing, took on all the debt, end up in bankruptcy,
yeah,
um, but has since then remarried, been married for going on 6 years now, and there's light at the end of that tunnel.
I have. I ain't gonna say I'm never gonna do it, but I am not getting married again without a prenup.
Okay, well, I mean, I understand that to each his own, but so I when you say that, you talk about the situation where relationships have become transactional, and it sounds like, in your opinion, you lean more towards it being from the woman's side, right? Correct me if I'm wrong.
Well, mostly, but you know what I'm saying. Men, there's always a transaction with the male with male pursuing.
Mm-hmm.
So there's always going to be a transaction when we get together and we finally saying that, hey, I want to take on, you know what I'm saying, the role of being a husband, number one boyfriend, a committed relationship. We're basically saying that here's a transaction. I'm going to give you, you know what I'm saying, the relationship that you want, and from me, and so you telling me that I can only be with you with the one woman, so I'm going to need A, B, and C from you.
Mm-hmm.
So but the way I see it is, it's always been transactional with men, because you're asking a man to only seek shelter with one woman.
Mm-hmm.
So, but mainly financial. When I was speaking up earlier, was mainly financial,
Mm-hmm.
when it comes to the women aspect.
Okay. So, a lot of women would probably argue that point, right? They would probably argue that men need to be better, men need to do better. And to some extent, you know, I would probably agree, depending on the situation and circumstance, right? And I use myself as an example, right? In my first marriage, I was married for almost 11 years, right?
Mhm.
Going through the divorce, she essentially left me for someone else, um, which is fine. I have no hard feelings towards her or that individual. Um, but in the heat of the moment, I was pointing the finger at her and I was blaming her and I was like, how could you do this to me?
Yeah,
X, Y, and Z, right? Because I essentially gave you 10 years of my life. I took care of you. I provided for you, blah, 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 right?
yeah,
And I was super angry with her. But then, I started kind of going through therapy, right? And going through therapy not just for that particular situation, but going through therapy for my own personal baggage and issues that, was separate and aside from her and my relationship with her. And what I discovered doing that was I discovered that the divorce was my fault. And it's my fault because although I wouldn't, go back and change anything because I have two wonderful kids with her. The
mhm,
reality of it is that it was my fault because we should have never been together in the beginning. I was in a point in my life where I was extremely desperate, right? I was the quintessential simp, as they would say, blue beta male,
yeah,
whatever you
yeah,
want to call it, right? And a lot of that stemmed from my personal trauma that I from my childhood. It also stemmed from a lack of education, right? Because you and I are in the same age group. You and I are in that group where
yeah.
we were kind of left out in the desert to fend for ourselves without any weapons, right?
Yes,
Because
sir.
our parents raised us to be, you know, um, they essentially raised us to treat a woman the way that you would want your mother to be treated, you know,
Exactly.
um, be respectful, be honest, be a gentleman, right? And then, be dutiful, go get a job, take care of your family, blah, 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 right? All of those
Yeah.
traditional values. Well, social media started taking off when we were in our 20s.
Yep.
And that changed the game. And for men like us, we were unprepared for it.
Definitely.
And so, that in combination with my trauma put me in an extremely desperate state for love, right? And
Yeah.
I end up attracting somebody who was equally as desperate as I was, which was a recipe for disaster because we met,
Yeah.
married after 6 months, didn't know the first thing about each other. And it's surprising that we lasted 10 years.
Exactly.
But the reality of it, which goes back to my point, the reality of it is that I was at fault because I was not in a healed state. I had no real leadership qualities. I didn't understand the dynamics of dating and relationships and how it was evolving and changing at such a rapid pace. So with that, what are your thoughts on how men need to be taking more responsibility for how things are currently in dating and relationship spaces?
The within a relationship, it always starts and stops with the male. It just is what it is. I talking to my daughter. I think, you know what I'm saying, and that's one thing I pride myself on. I told my daughter I'm gonna always be open and honest. We could talk about anything, and I told her a man is always going to get the blame if it fails. If it succeeds, it's what the woman does to make it work. Now, as a man, you must understand, and this is what leading up to talk about what the men do to be better. As a man, you must understand, no matter what goes on in a relationship, you're going to be at fault if things go wrong. And all men need to understand that. You can have a woman who's just horrible with money. She spends. The house foreclosure. Society is going to look at the man and say, how did you allow the house to go into foreclosure? Anything that happens negative or badly in a relationship is going to fall on men. So men need to understand that going into a relationship that it starts and stops with you. And to be better, you must understand: are you really ready for a relationship? Like you the scenario you gave. Hey, same thing. My mom was telling me how to treat a woman and do all that. And so I go into a relationship with my ex-wife, and you know what I'm saying, I knew she cheated a couple of times, but then the rooster came home, and it clarified that she cheated. I had a decision right there to walk away or not. But we had a baby girl. So I'm putting the pressure on myself. Hey, you didn't really have a father figure in your life and all this. So I stayed around longer than I should have because I wanted to show my daughter that she could have her family, something that I didn't have. Uh, so, but if I go back and talk to younger me today, I would tell him like you, hey, to walk away. Women are allowed to walk away when their peace is disturbed. As men, we should do the same thing. If your peace is disturbed, you're allowed to walk away. And you should take that chance. Take that opportunity to walk away. And being better in a relationship, you always wanting to be someone's partner and crutch. But if you're not able to stand alone, you're not going to be able to help their partner. So before going into a relationship as a man, you got to understand, I got to be able to stand alone before I'm able.
I agree 100%. And, it's I honestly believe like a lot of the issues that relationally that we're having, right? And when I say we, I'm talking about men, is that a lot of men have zero leadership skills. A lot
Yes.
of men couldn't lead themselves out of a cardboard box.
Yeah.
And thus they are thrusting themselves into relationships that there's a certain when you get into a relationship, there's certain levels of expectation that come along with that. And a lot of men are unable to meet those expectations. And, you know, they find themselves in these situations where the woman is being her natural self. She's being her hypergamous self,
Mm-hmm.
which is nothing wrong with that because that's the way that God made them, right?
Yeah.
Um, they're being there and they're looking for someone better, you know, on this journey, right? Because um, now that I am a certified relationship coach, and I've been researching this stuff for a couple of years. The thing that that I discovered that, and this was probably 3 years into my new marriage, is that women are hypergamous, and
Oh yeah.
that even in your marriage, you as a man can't get comfortable.
Nope.
You have to always present yourself as the best option, even though you're married. There's a covenant, there's commitment. You still have to present yourself as the best option for your woman. And so
But th-
what does that look like? That looks like making subtle and slight improvements every single day. Trying to get better, do better, be better.
now let me ask you this:
Mm-hmm.
we have to do better and be better all the time. Like, do a woman have to do better?
Absolutely.
Think
And
about it. Now, you answer that
and
absolutely, but
they absolutely, and the reason why I say that is because the male sets that precedent in the
mm-hmm.
relationship. It but it what that looks like is dependent on the male. It depends on what structures and foundations he has established within his relationships for himself and for his relationship and for his family. And so those are three separate entities, right? There's
Yeah,
yourself, the structure and framework that you have built for yourself that you continue to build upon, the structure for your relationship with your spouse, and then the structure and framework for your family as a whole, right?
yeah,
You need goals and progression in all of those ranks, but that requires communication. That requires open and effective, honest communication. It's, hey, I have this set of goals for our family, right? I'm going to need you to help me reach said goals. You understand what I'm saying?
I got you.
And
I got you.
and for the spouse, it her goals, she needs to have goals for herself. She needs to have goals for her husband and goals for the family. And so she then needs to have structure and framework herself and then need to be working towards those things. So for example, my wife, when I met her, her goal was she wanted to be a nurse. You know, we got married. She got pregnant. We got married. She gave birth. COVID happened. I was still in the Air Force at the time. We ended up picking up right as COVID ended, moving to Germany, and then 2 years later retiring, and now we're in San Antonio, Texas. And so her goal of being a nurse kind of got pushed to the side because
Yeah,
of everything that happened. But I was like, no, that's what you want. We're still gonna do it. We just got to take a different route.
different route.
And so what I did was help lay the path out for her to still go ahead and reach those goals. You understand what I'm saying? And so
Yeah.
it's still on me, right? Because
Yeah.
if I leave it up to her, if I leave it up to her, it's gonna be, well, I'm focused on my family, focus on this, and then there's gonna be some sort of there could potentially be some sort of depression for not reaching her goals, or resentment that seeps in for not reaching her goals, and can't allow that. So
No.
no, what we're gonna do is we're gonna get you back focused, but it starts with me.
Yeah. But now in your situation, and going back to the earlier statement about being better and doing better, the quality of a partner in our search to find a partner.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now, the truth of the matter is, a lot of us come from broken homes.
Mm-hmm.
The single parent family is the dominant family. The nuclear two parent household is the minor family now. So a lot of us come from broken homes, and I can only speak to what, you know what I'm saying, I've noticed it, because and then, I'm a black male, so I can only speak what happens in the black community. It seems like in the two parent home, our women are taught to be strong. Don't let, don't do, don't take, don't this, don't that. Single parent home where there's boys, you better nurture. Like you say, find a woman. They want to find a woman. A woman want to find a man that treats his mother well. Well, she's telling her all the things that you should pull out a chair for a woman, do all this here and do this here for a woman, and everything. So it's you're making a simp, and you're creating a headstrong woman. So when we have to go out there and meet each other, we're both fighting from the wrong end of the relationship pole. You're the woman is being taught what she shouldn't have, or what she shouldn't allow. So when your statement of talking about, hey, putting the woman putting your spouse back on the track of the goal, that don't really fly too much in our community, because they're going to see that as controlling. They're going to see that you're doing too much. And even if they don't see it that way, they got a friend who's similar, gonna be in their ear and say, he's trying to control you. He's doing too much. He's this, he's that. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't put up with that girl. And that's what the most thing I be talking about on social media is, we our foundation in coming into relationship is all screwed up. If you're a religious person, it teaches you God, man, woman, kids. And these women go to church and they listen to all that, but when they get into their personal life and data, nah, you're not gonna be this, you're not gonna do this. My kid's gonna come before you. So if you're basically destroying the statue of how things are supposed to flow, and you don't even realize it.
Well, I mean, I can't sit here and tell you that a lot of what you said isn't true, because I see it, right. You know,
Yeah.
as a relationship coach, you know, I see this all the time, and I got a client who, you know, because she something that was said to her as a child, it led to her not even wanting to have kids. And so a lot of what you're talking about, it's stems from childhood, right?
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter is, the thing that we have to educate people on, and a lot of the what we're experiencing now is due to a lack of education or a lot of misinformation, right?
Misinformation.
It if you go out on social media, you know, there is the red pill, there is, you know, misogyny, there's misandry, there's women who hate men, there's feminism, whatever you're looking for,
It's out there.
there is something for you out there. Um, but the thing is, there's in all of those um different types of podcasts stem from hurt and trauma and undealt with issues, that stem from likely your childhood, right?
Yeah.
And so what we have to do is we have to educate people, right? And the reality of it is, right, using myself as an example, right? I was always a relationship guy, right? When kids in elementary, first grade, second grade, boys were running from relationships, I was like, I want a girlfriend,
Yeah.
which is kind of weird for that age, but that was just my personality, right?
Yeah.
But the things that I was doing to try to get relationships is what today is identified as a simp. Back then,
Yeah.
it was the nice guy, right?
Yeah.
Which being a simp is just simply nice guy reimagined in 2025. But what it simply was what I discovered was that all of that was because I lacked confidence. I
Yep.
lacked self-esteem. I lacked the inability to attract a woman on my looks or whatever, right? And so I relied on, well, I'll be nice. I'll buy things.
Yeah.
Maybe that'll get me in the door.
Yep.
And so but really what I needed was I needed to hit the gym. I needed to get some money in my pocket.
Yeah.
I needed to dress better,
Yeah.
talk better,
Yeah.
you know, do all of those things that become excellent in areas that I could control. And so for the men out there, that's what we have to do. We have to become excellent in the things that we can control, right?
I don't.
I'm 5'3". I'm never gonna be tall. Not something I can control. But what I can control is the muscles on my body, right?
Yeah.
So a girl may look at me and be like, "Damn, he's short, but he got some muscles on him. He can he's short, but he can dress. He's
Yeah. Yeah.
short, but he smells good. He's
Yeah.
short, but he got a good personality.
Yeah.
He's short and he knows how to communicate. He's emotionally intelligent, XYZ, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's for men. For women, women have to discover the difference between wants and needs.
Oh, that's a touchy one right there. That's a touchy one.
Discover what's the difference between wants and needs, because there are a lot of women who want relationships, and they're when they go into these relationships, it's, well, I want a man who makes six figures. I want a man who's 6 foot plus. I want a man who's 6 inches. I want a man who's emotionally intelligent. I want a man that's XYZ. But do you need all of that? Do
Women
you need,
today,
huh?
women today, like I'm saying, and all that stems from that you just named about what a woman need and wants comes from this here, this phone, this access to this phone, this access. It was supposed to give us this phone in our hands was supposed to make us smarter. In actuality, it made us dumber because it took away the self processes of information and knowledge. So now we rely on everything to come from this phone. If you can post it, somebody's going to read it, and you done just set the tone in that person's mind now. So in actuality, we didn't become smarter. We became mentally weaker because this phone controls people's lives. If I don't pick it, if I pick up and look at it and my picture ain't get 100 likes, my energy is thrown for the day. If I pick up this phone and someone don't text me back, my energy is thrown off for the whole day. And that I need a six figure, I'm a 6'7" man. And I didn't really going through dating, I didn't really start getting girls. You know what I'm saying? Until I got to college, because I was childish. I was childish. Girls didn't like me. You know what I'm saying? Because I'd be in middle school, high school. I'm still wrestling and rolling on the floor and doing. And so that's what, you know what I'm saying. Talking back. Hey, why you didn't like me in high school? Boy, you was childish. You was still running around sweating. I'm like, well, I'm a kid. I'm 16, 17. My mama told me to be a kid as long as you can. Because once you become an adult, you're gonna have adult problems for the rest of your life.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
Yeah. So I was a kid. I stayed in that kid realm for a long time. And so I didn't get girls. I didn't get girls like that until I got to college, and I started realizing, and it was hard to me to change because I wanted to. You know what I'm saying? I like WWE wrestling. I like going outside and doing all the other little stuff. But girls was like talking to me, well, you play too much. That's just who I was.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and so that don't appeal for so-called good guys. Stuff like that don't appeal to women like that. You know what I'm saying? To girls, they always wanted. I guarantee you heard this message. I want to at 15 and 16-year-old. I want somebody who's mature. We kids. How do you
Yep.
think? How do you think a relationship's supposed to happen at 15? I ain't got no job. Or if I do, I'm only working 12, 15 hours a week.
But you know, the I'm glad you said that, because what that does is shine a light on when you started experiencing that hypergamous nature. It's evident at that age. And so, and with the advent of social media, and keep in mind, when you and I were 15 years old, social media wasn't a thing.
Wasn't a thing.
Wasn't a thing. And we were still experiencing it. And so it's only 10x now that social media is as big as it is and as prevalent it is. And, you know, it's no longer, you know, asking a girl for her phone number or, you know, passing her a note. It's now, you know, follow me on Instagram.
Yeah.
You know, hey, dude, hey, you remember back in the day, you used to, you know, write the little notes and fold it up into an envelope and slide it on. It's no longer like that. The envelope is now Instagram.
Oh,
And, you know, everybody's got Instagram, from the regular old Joe Smo up to the Drakes. And the women have access to all of them.
yeah.
And so, you know, now at kids at 11 and 12, boys at 11 and 12 are going through what we went through at 15 and 16.
Yep.
And so now men that are in their 20s are lonely.
See, I want ladies to the ladies, if you watch, I want you to understand this here. Yes, physically, mentally, you mature faster than a male. All right, you do. You do. You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all probably got a job when y'all 16 and you going to work and you doing that. A male don't hit his maturity really to after 25. So if you're dating a guy at 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, you're dating a kid. So yes, shoes, cars, this is still in the back of his mind as a priority. Because most of the time, he's probably living with mama. And so he don't have to worry about, you know what I'm saying, bills or anything. And so priorities for a male, we really don't get our stuff together to after 20. Now, some of us, who I think you probably joined the military, what, 18, 19?
Yeah, fresh out of high school.
Fresh out of high school. So you was forced into, hey, I got to be time on time. I have to, you know what I'm saying, be organized. You was forced into that because if you don't, things are gonna happen. You get washed back in boot camp, or you're gonna fail dorm inspections, you're gonna do all you're gonna get a reality check real quick.
Mm-hmm.
And so you was forced into it. I wasn't forced into it. At 18 years old, you know what I'm saying? I'm just focused on basketball. I'm going to college. 20 years old, I'm still playing basketball. I ain't got no job. My dorm room messing in the mug. But you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm a halfway decent basketball player. Hey, I can be 15 minutes late to class. So punctuality wasn't on me. But a lot of women they like the aesthetics of the male that they're chasing, but not understanding that the development. We don't reach that prime development until later, and where we's like, okay, all right, I should be doing something right about now. Yeah, spending all my money on shoes probably is not the smartest thing to do. Man, going out here partying every weekend is probably not the wisest thing to do. We have to grow out of that. Women starts that early. They mature faster than men, and they don't understand that. But see, as we get older, and this one here going, as we get older with men, it's more of an Asian of fine wine because hey, now my financial status is stepping up. Okay, I got a better job. I was throwing boxes at FedEx at 21 and 22. Now here at 32, I'm a area manager now. My financials are left up. Okay, now my body is changed. You know what I'm saying? I'm focusing on fixing my body. Okay, so as we age as male, we tend to get better. As women age, some of them gets better. But again, ladies, this is just me, just not Dr. Warren. This is me. A lot of them don't age well, and so then that's the dynamics that we're running into. Because I know you know the topic of a lot of women I know you be watching this stuff too. And then one of the things that they be asking, why do a man want a younger woman? There's a lot of things that goes into that. We'll talk about that one on a later time because I want the first episode to get us banned by women council. We'll talk about that one later. But that's what women need to understand. You're not going to get a finished product at 21 or 22. The finished product with a man probably don't really truly happen until he's in his mid 30s.
Oh yeah, no, I think that's an unbelievable point that I think is missed oftentimes. Just thinking about my particular situation, as you know, in the military, you don't get paid nothing for
None.
the lifestyle and the work that you do, right? You know, the benefits are absolutely fantastic, right? But if
Yeah.
we're talking about money in your hands, money in your pocket, money in your bank account, you for the type of work that a lot of us do, you know, you can get paid double that cash in hand in your pocket in your bank account on the outside.
Yeah.
But as I was getting older, right? And you said it. When I was in my 20s, I never went to the gym to lift the weights. I was a runner, I was a speedster, and I was skinny and had you could see all of my all the what little bit of muscles I had. As I got older and I started slowing down, I was like, and I started working out, started, you know, I got introduced to lifting weights and I fell in love with it and I started putting on some pounds and some muscles.
Yep.
Um, and I noticed that a different segment of women opened up to me because of
Mhm.
that. You know, it was like, oh, hey Juan, you looking kind of solid.
Yeah.
You know, and then it was like I went from wearing the baggy clothes to wearing more fitted clothes to, you know, kind of
Yep.
accentuate the muscles, right?
Yeah.
It was like, wow, you look nice, you know, and, you know, the smell goods and all that other stuff. That was in I didn't figure that out till I was in my mid 30s.
Yes, sir. Yes,
And
sir.
I retired at 39 years old from the Air Force after 22 years. And now, you know, I've been retired for 2.5 years. I'm making almost double what I was making when I retired, and I started a business. You know, it's still in its beginning phases because I just kind of figured out what my purpose in life is. But
Yeah.
I started a business. You know, I've written 2 books. You know, this one right here being my first book, which is covers all everything that we're talking about now, which is the modern guide to finding aligned love, the modern guide to finding and building fulfilling relationships. And this book basically is a touch point of all of the things that I learned
Yeah.
over the years, everything that I've researched, and it's not a super in-depth book, but it touches a lot of areas that I think that would help a lot of people, both men and women, get into fulfilling relationships. And
Yeah.
so, you know, but I released that back in July. I'm 43 years old. And I'm just now coming to the realization of a lot of these things at
Hmm.
43 years old. And so the point that you made about guys being in their 20s, a lot of the guys in their 20s couldn't pull their head out of their couldn't put their head out of their ass if they was looking at it in a mirror.
Good. Good.
And so, and that's gonna be it. There will be men. Let's be honest, right? There will be exceptional men at that age who, you know, got lucky and figured out some things. Maybe they had an upbringing where that kind of thing was educated into them. So, for example, my 15-year-old son, I'm educating him now,
Yes.
introducing him into. We figured out his passion, so I'm introducing him into those things. He's into cars. He knows a lot about cars. He's doing photography at 15 years old. He does exotic car photography. And so I'm putting him into spaces where exotic cars are and,
Yeah.
you know, buying him, you know, upgrades to his camera and all of these things, right? Teaching him young so that when he gets into his 20s, he's 10 steps ahead of where I was.
Yeah.
And so he may, by the time he hits 30, he may be a 6 figure earner or a millionaire or whatever it is, right? Because that's what his desire is. His desire is to make enough money to retire his parents. But he has that drive and that desire at the age 15. When I was
Yeah.
15, I didn't think nothing. Wasn't nobody telling me about that kind of stuff. Wasn't nobody putting me in those kind of spaces. No shade to my family or any of my friends or mentors at that point in time, but it just wasn't a thing, right?
It wasn't a
And
thing.
and so that's the thing that I think, especially women in their mid 20s to early 30s, they have to understand that. Now, with that being said, it's our responsibility as elder statesmen
Yes.
who have
Yes.
learned these things to educate the younger generation so that they don't make the same mistakes that we made, and they get a leg up.
We
Right?
have to.
Just like you say, you teach your daughter. I teach my son um, the things that I wish that I knew.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one of the things that I've told him is like, don't focus on women, don't focus on girls, don't focus on focus on school, focus on becoming better at what you're already doing, perfecting your craft, learning how to be better and to take it to the next level. And then go out and reach the level of success that you desire, and let the women be a byproduct of that.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yeah.
interestingly enough, when he was here over the summer, I asked him, I said, do you know what type of girls that you like? And he said, any girl that I'm going to want to be with, she has to like cars. And so at age 15, he's already identified the type of woman that he wants.
Yeah.
So that already puts him ahead of the game.
Head of the game. And that's what I be telling to my little young bulls at work. You know what I'm saying? It's okay to wanting to have a preference in a woman. The way that social media is going is basically is being one sided. Women should only have to have a preference. Men not supposed to, and that's absolutely wrong. That is totally wrong. All right. As a young man, I wish I had an older person to tell me, hey, the person that you choose to be the mother of your child is going to have a heavy outcome on the rest of your life. I didn't have a male in my life like that to teach me like that. I had to piece together different males. You know what I'm saying? Some was fictitious, some was live. You know what I'm saying? One of my favorite things I tell everybody, I learned how to be a father from watching James from Good Times. You know what I'm saying? That's
Mm-hmm.
how I learned how to be a father. You take care of family, you know what I'm saying? No matter what, you go out there and you work hard, you do what you gotta do. You know what I'm saying? And you know what I'm saying? I had my brother-in-law, he showed me some things about being, but no one stopped there and told me how am I supposed to pick my partner. You know, I was just out there in that world, just looking for something, whatever caught my eye. And what I tell my young bulls at work now, I tell them, hey guys, that woman that you choose, I say, because in actuality, you choose is the woman.
Mm-hmm.
So the woman that you choose, you need to look into it. Yes, everybody wants a beautiful woman. Everybody wants a beautiful woman. But let's be realistic. Not all of us a beautiful woman, you know what I'm saying, adjacent. I'm a strong, I'm a strong 7.2. You know what I'm saying? So
Hey, listen, I'm a strong somewhere between 4 and 5.
and if I tell, I go for what's in my range limit. I go one up or two down. You know what I'm saying? I go one up or two down. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But I told myself, hey, I know I'm not no Idris Elba, baby. You know what I'm saying? But after my divorce, I started taking the role of choosing a woman. I'm not really looking, you know what I'm saying, for a looker. The woman that I choose got to have three things. You know what I'm saying? She got to be financially knowledgeable because once again, I'm not taking on all no debt ever again. She got to be financially knowledgeable. You know what I'm saying? She has to have a loving heart. And the third thing, she got to be fun to be around. You know, and because going back to your earlier statement about accountability and thing, in actuality, my marriage was over due to me. Yes, I got cheated on. Yes, and blah blah blah. But once I made that decision to stay, I was supposed to throw all that out the window and become. I couldn't do that.
Mm-hmm.
I knew in my heart I couldn't do that. But I stayed. And so I became ornery. You know what I'm saying? I became very, you know what I'm saying, passive aggressive, you know. And so then at that point, it turned her off. So yes, I destroyed my marriage. It ended my marriage because I didn't take the accountability. Hey, you can't take a woman cheating on you. I believe if I would have just said, hey, we need to walk away from this here, I guarantee you our relationship probably would be better than what it is today.
So my question, if you don't mind me asking, so my question is, what do you think led to her cheating in the beginning?
Um, distance, distance.
Okay.
You know about Korea. You'd have been there.
Yeah. Yeah. That was early. That was early in my Air Force career. That was my second duty station. And I
Yeah,
was I was turned and lit at the same time.
yes, yes. Well, I was, you know what I'm saying? I was in my final years of college and I wasn't available. You know what I'm saying? I'm playing basketball, homework, practice, all this other little stuff. So we was doing a long distance relationship from Korea. When she called, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, I'm asleep. You know what I'm saying? AOL was just jumping online, so I didn't understand about email really that
Mm-hmm.
good. And I'm definitely not a pen writer. You know what I'm saying? I got the verbal milk, but my written milk is horrible. You know what I'm saying? So I couldn't, you know what I'm saying? She told me I didn't make her feel wanted. Now, no matter
Mm-hmm.
no matter how many times when we did talk on the phone, I told her that I loved her and she was the best thing to happen because she was saying I was choosing other things. I'm like, well, I'm in college. For me to take for my school to get taken care of, I got to be on a basketball court. So could I've done more? I could have. I was giving myself an excuse. You know what I'm saying? But I was in my mind. I'm genuinely tired. I'm waking up at 4:30 in the morning to go run bleachers. You know what I'm saying? Then I got to shower, come back, go to class. Being all this here wasn't the super brightest, so I had all the tutors. You know what I'm saying? I had all the tutors. So I'm doing homework after homework to try to stay ahead.
Mm-hmm.
And so that was the thing. So, but when she came back, that was the first thing I ran and did. I was like, hey, well, I want to let her know, hey, boom, got down on one knee, will you marry me? Well, we should have waited. And after she came back and we talked about all this here, but what? I'm a kid. I'm 22, 23. I was just
Oh
trying,
yeah.
I was just trying to appease her. She's
Do
down.
what you do what you thought was right.
Yeah. Do what I thought was right. She's down. She feel like I don't love her. How the best way to show that you love her and you're gonna be here for the long haul? Go get a ring. Young men, don't ever do that. Don't let marriage proposing be the reason You jump into a committed relationship of marriage like that. You know what I'm saying? Never just, hey, do this here to appease her or to make her happy. Like I said, I shouldn't have done that. We should have came back from Korea. We should have sat down and talked, and she expressed herself. I expressed myself, and we should have seen if going forward was going to be the best thing for us. But well, like you said, I was trying to do the right thing. Hey, she's down. She don't believe I love her. What's the thing to do to show her that you love her? Ask her to marry.
Yeah, and you know, again, that kind of goes back to that generational thing, right? It's kind of what we were taught was the right thing to do,
Like
and
mama said, if she good to lay down with, she good to marry.
listen, you know who you sound like? You sound like Shannon Sharp.
Yeah.
You sound like Shannon Sharp right now with all those little sayings. You know, Shannon Sharp got all the sayings.
Yeah, yeah.
But no, and you know it's a it was a serious lack of education, right?
Yes, sir.
Lack of communication skills, lack of uh emotional intelligence, right? Even though emotional intelligence has been the framework that it's used in is relatively new. It's been something that's existed for a while. It's just I don't think it had the tag of emotional intelligence um attached to it. And
Yeah.
so we found ourselves in these positions because like you, I got married at 23. Um we found ourselves in these positions where we were how do I want to put this? We were starting to race in last place.
Yes. Exactly.
Starting to race in last place, hoping to catch up. And you know, with the way that things developed and changed in such a short period of time, we were never going to catch up. Not at where we were, unless you know we were taught to invest in the education that we needed in order to become successful men in relationships.
Yep.
Um, which it's doable. Um, with the generation now, they have to be, they have to be educated on what they're up against. And that's where these conversations happen, right? And it's
Mhm.
we don't want to do is we don't want to get on here and start blaming one side or the other. But what we want to do is we want to be real and be honest about where things currently are and what we see, right? I'm Before I became a relationship coach, I was an NCO that had airmen underneath me, young airmen, 18, 19, 20, 21 year old who were struggling, right? I had got young, handsome men who were struggling to keep and establish relationships, right? Guys who I had a young man that worked for me who um I warned him about this relationship that he had with this girl, and she, you know, he was young, kind of immature, good worker, but from a relationship standpoint, he didn't want to listen and end up getting in jail, being accused of rape. And now, granted, it was or grape. It was later then dropped, but he went through hell, end up losing his military career. Now, granted, he's gone on to be quite successful in his own right, um, but it's something that we see quite too often, especially
Yeah.
nowadays, right?
Yes.
Men are hungry for relationships, and so they end up settling for um or getting themselves into situations, right? Chasing after Ferraris, but ain't got Ferrari money,
I ain't
and
got
and, and
for
or can't or get a Ferrari and can't deal with the maintenance of it. And for the
Oh,
ladies who are wondering what the hell I'm talking about, it's chasing after a woman who who is being chased by a whole bunch of men. And if you're lucky to get her because you got a little bread in your pocket, you can't keep up with her because you got to keep bread in your pocket.
gotta keep it. Young men, date within your financial structures. If
You
you got
hear
IHOP money, date your IHOP woman.
and you know the funny thing is you hear women talk about it, right? You hear women be boisterous about it. And but in some right, they're being honest, right? Don't don't go chasing after a woman that if you like me, you a 4 or 5, chasing after 8, 9, or 10, and if you're lucky enough to get her, start complaining about what it costs you to mentally, physically, spiritually, economically to keep up with her.
Oh, hey man, I took when I got divorced, and you know what I'm saying, I jumped back out there in the dating scene, man. And you know where we at, Larry, out, suburbs of St. Louis. I'm I was you know what I'm saying, I was on the
Using them streets.
boy, was I. But I found the young lady that I was kind of attracted to. You know what I'm saying? And so you know what I'm saying, we started to date, and we were just talking. And so she asked, you know what I'm saying, do we want to go out? So I'm like, yeah. So I asked her, you know what I'm saying, to meet me at Cheddar's. She said, well, I was thinking about Ruth Chris. I hung up the phone.
You did it. Hey, you did you do a quick snapshot of your bank account? It was like, nah, hey, that's out of my price range.
It was him, mentally him. You know what I'm saying? And you know that I owed the mortgage company $65,000. Yeah, doggone, nah.
So you hit it with the Kevin Hart. See, the way my bank account is set up. I gotta check it in the savings.
No, I hit it with the click. Yeah, this we ain't going nowhere. We ain't going nowhere. But mashed potato, and this was back then. This was in 2014. Mashed potatoes a la carte. You know what I'm saying? $15. I ain't going nowhere. I can't get a combo meal or something.
Boy, you wow. Hey, listen, I went on a date after my divorce one time, and we went to what is considered taboo nowadays. We went to the Cheesecake Factory. Hey, I ain't never been a food date, but
Yeah,
old girl came in there and racked up $90 worth of food just by herself and started packing up things. And then I was like, "What are you gonna do with all that food?" She was like, "Oh, I'm gonna get these to my kids." Listen,
yeah,
she
yeah.
ne-
You
she
ain't got to
never
say it.
she
You ain't
ne-
got to say it. I
she
already
never
know.
got a phone call again from me ever.
Yeah. Hey, that's why I date within my financial prowess. You know what I'm saying? And the reason why one of my things for a woman, she has to be financially, you said, knowledgeable, because I am very, very, very weary about finances, and
Mm-hmm.
so I don't like to be in charge of the bills. My ex-wife, she was in charge of the bills. You know what I'm saying? Because if I start looking, I start panicking. And so that's a real stressor for me. And
What
so
bills?
money issues. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, okay.
I grew up dope poor. So you know what I'm saying. So I'm what you call, I'm frugal. You know what I'm saying? I'm
Mm-hmm.
not cheap. I'm not cheap. You know what I'm saying? Because I will buy what, you know what I'm saying, I will spend on what I really, really want and everything. But I am frugal. I'm gonna always look for a deal. If it's a coupon, yeah, we going to a restaurant. I got a coupon from Groupon. We gonna use it. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Hey, that 15%, that you know what I'm saying? That's a whole lot. That's savings. You
Boy,
know,
you
so
wow.
I don't. Hey, if me pulling out a coupon on a date is embarrassing to you, you don't need to go nowhere with me because I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
pull out a coupon. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna ask for any kind of discount you got.
But you know what though? We laugh about it, but you know, being your authentic self, there's gonna be a woman who's like, I can rock with that. And you know what? She might surprise you and pull out a coupon too.
Hey, and I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I'll be like, whoo, yes.
Like listen,
Stole my heart.
my wife is a shopper,
Yeah,
but she's a this is on sale, so I'm gonna buy it type
yeah.
of shopper. And me, I pay the bills. As soon as the money hit my account, the money is gone for the bills. And then what I got left, I be trying to hold on to it as long
Yeah.
as much as possible. Um, and then because I'm reinvesting most of my money into getting my business off the ground and getting new equipment and all of these different things that I need in order for my business to really take off. And so I get it. Whenever I see sales, I usually, hey, babe, I'm forward this over to you, and because that's how she is. She's a salesperson. Um, but I'm kind of the same way. If I can get it for the low,
Was a
I
low.
I get it. I ain't
Hey,
about to.
well, I go to dealers and look at the same shirt 8 weeks in a row till they put it on the clearance rack. Then bam, I get it.
Hey, listen. So I'm not the only one who do that. I'm not the only one. Hey, my wife used to be like, "Hey, why you always looking at stuff, but then don't end up buying it?" I'm like, cause in my head, I'm like, do I really need this right now, or can I wait till it goes on
Can you
sale?
wait? Can you wait?
She's
My,
like, well,
I
if you want it, buy it. And I'm like, I do want it, but I don't want to pay
have,
$500 for it when I can get it for $399.
hey, I go to stores and this is my process. I put it in my hand. Now, if I can talk myself out of buying it, I don't buy it. I walk around. I just walk around. Do I really need this? Can I get this another way? So if I can talk myself out of buying something, I put it back. I do not just grab
Mm-hmm. So when do you go back and get it?
when it's on clearance. 50%, 50% off. Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. I'm a
So,
frugal male.
but see, the thing is like what you described are, the three things that you described, right?
Mhm.
Um, are things that you've discovered that you need, right? It's not, you know, the woman with the big breasts or the woman with the big butt or the tall dark chocolate beautiful or whatever it is your that your flavor used to be back in the day. um it's things that are substance within your life, like for me, um my relationship with my wife, I asked her, I said, I'm 5'3", she's 5'6". She don't rock heels, so my height really wasn't a thing for her. But I asked her, I said, um, you're a beautiful, attractive woman. Um, what made you want to get with me? And she was like, well, couple of things. A, when I saw you and I heard you speak, I immediately knew that you equal stability. Um, you had goals, you were driven, you were working towards something. Because at that point in time, I was working on my bachelor's degree.
Mhm.
Um, and since then, I got my master's degree and a graduate certificate in coaching. And so at that point in time, I was working towards something. And then she knew that I had 2 kids from my previous marriage. So and they had when I met her, they had just left visiting me while I was in Belize for the when I was working out there. They had left at the end of the summer. And so she knew that I was a good person. I had a good
Mhm.
personality. Now, I was in the streets.
In now.
I was in the streets. Like I was 2 years from being divorced, and I was wildin'. But the
Out
thing
here.
was, I was honest. I never made anybody feel like I was only talking to them. I let them
Yeah.
know, yo, I got other chicks that I'm dealing with. If you're not cool with that, whatever is, no hard feelings. And so, um, but after about 2 months or whatever, she kind of knew that if I could get right, she
Yeah.
wanted your boy as her husband. At that point in time, I was not interested in no type of relationship with
Yeah.
nobody.
Yeah.
And but along the way, she showed me the things that I needed. I needed somebody who was trustworthy. I needed somebody who was loyal and somebody who was respectful to me as not only to me as a man, but to me to the goals that I had for myself and for my family.
Yeah.
And so but these were things that I never really communicated to her other than being truthful, right?
Truth of who you are. Truth of who
Right.
you are.
Like do what you do, but be honest with me.
Yeah.
And so she showed me those things, and this is the thing that I tell my female clients that's been in relationships with dudes for 7 years, and they're like they're questioning why he don't want to marry me. This is the thing that I know, and tell me if I'm off base. When a man knows that he wants to marry you or that he wants you like that, he will marry you. When he knows,
When he knows.
or when you've shown yourself to be that person. Now, granted, I will preface that by saying we're talking about a man who has his shit together, who
Yeah.
is financially stable, who is um healed, who is mentally sound, and all of these things. When you find that person, if he ain't if he ain't proposed to you after a certain period of time, then you need to do some self check. What
But
am
but
I
but
what am I lacking? What am I messing up on?
but what when it comes to that, that happens on both sides. The people that's supposed to be together never end up being together. See,
Why do you think that is?
because of what we're what we say we're searching for and what our desires. We let our desires take precedent over what we're searching for. You know what I'm saying? Because every woman gonna say the same thing. Oh, I want a man that's gonna be loyal to me. He's gonna this. He's gonna respect me. He's gonna treat me this, and all the same thing. But she wanted in a package that her desire has. She want her desire to
Mm-hmm.
have all these things, and
Mm-hmm.
that's the same thing with a male. Man, I want a woman to hold me down, woman be there for me, blah blah blah. They say that's what they're searching for, but they want that in the desired package. They don't. There are women and men like right now. There's a woman out there who got a guy in her inbox, you know what I'm saying, or co-worker or whatever that's down to give her everything that she wants, but he's not in the package.
He's in the
That's
friend zone.
Yeah, he's not in that package that she's seen deemed for herself.
Mm-hmm.
Vice versa for a male. There's a woman out there that I guarantee you he pick up. Hey, you got some food over there? You cooking? Yeah, can you come over here and get a plate? She goes over there. He ain't got to fix his plate. She had it put down for him. Anytime he called, he's there for. He's gonna do everything. But she's not in the package. She's everything that he wants, but it's not in the package that he desires.
Mm. That's good, bro.
And that right there is the issue.
Mm-hmm.
I had to set aside my desires to open up to find what I was actually looking for.
Mm-hmm.
Because these desires, oh man, they be on you. They be on you. Because like I told you, everybody think that they should have this ultra beautiful and this and that. Oh, playboy, playgirl. What you're asking for is probably not gonna be in these superficial individuals.
Yeah, it's not going to be conducive to what you need for a fulfilling relationship.
Yeah. Most of these superficial individuals, they 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 are your they can be bought. Beautiful woman, hey, taking out expensive trips and doing you're buying that woman. You're not actually, you know what I'm saying, showing your winning personality to woo her. You're purchasing her. Same thing for the women. These super handsome super guys that you named as a 9 or a 10. Well, you're giving him, you're cooking for him, you're taking him this here, you're doing this everything. So you're giving him everything that you should be giving the person that you say that you desire. I mean that you want. And this guy here, and this guy here, all he's saying is, yeah, she's not my type, but she good to mess around with. So what's happening? It's happening on both ends.
Mm-hmm.
It's happening on both ends. You know what I'm saying? They're not picking who they're searching for. They're picking who they're trying to get the package, you know what I'm saying, and the person they desire, and you're overlooking everybody. You're overlooking the person that's gonna have you happily married for 30, 40, 50, 60 years until death do you part.
Yeah, because they love you, not what you can do for them,
Yeah.
not this um this facade that are often created. It's they know who you are and they love who you are as a person.
Yeah.
And you friend zone them oftentimes because they don't match the aesthetics.
Yeah.
And I think the reason why, and it boils back down to a lack of education. A lot of people don't know why they do or why they react or respond the way that they do to certain things. So understanding that your the reasoning that you're chasing after a man that has six figures, 6 inches and 6 foot plus, it's all a it's all a provision and security instinct within yourself. But the simple
Mm-hmm.
fact of the matter is, a man that is you're 5 foot nothing chasing after 6 foot 3. Well, you got a guy that's 5 foot 3 who can do all of those same things. A guy that's 5'6" who can do all of those same things. Sure, if he gets into a hand-to-hand combat with a dude that's 6'5", he may lose that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he's any bit of intelligent, he's likely not going to put himself in a position where he has to. And you you in the places where it counts the most, like in your home,
Mm-hmm.
I don't need to be 6'5", because
No.
if you come through the door, I hope you and Jesus got a good relationship with each other, because y'all gonna meet each other.
But hey, but see, all these things that they saying that they won't, they don't realize and understand it. You want a 6 foot guy because you think that's protection. No, protection is if the situation is all right, baby. This is what we finna do. We finna remove ourselves from this here, and we not finna deal with. That's protecting.
Mm-hmm.
I don't got to get into a brawl with nobody to defend your honor. what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna say, hey, look here, fella. Hey, this is my lady. You know what I'm saying? We're not into all that there. Go on about your business. He keep going. All right, baby. The decision, the protection, the decision I'm finna make is we finna leave.
Mm-hmm.
We finna walk out of here. Let's go. Because we're not finna sit here and argue with stupid people.
Yep.
That's protection.
Yep. There's no need to go. There's no need to go back and forth. And I give you a perfect example. We were out at a youth football game here in Texas, and I was coaching. My team had got the brakes beat off of them, and we was watching the older kids play. And I saw some parents start arguing with other parents across the field, and the you started seeing parents start coming down, and I'm like, "Hey, babe, we got
Time
to
to
go.
go.
Pack this shit up. It's time to go." And she's like, "What? What? I'm watching the game." I was like, "Hey, look, I ain't got time to explain this to you. It's time to move. Pack it
Time to
up."
move.
And we packed everything up and left.
And left.
And turns out a brawl broke out between the players. Parents got involved. Some dude went to his car, got a gun. Ain't nobody
Yep.
get shot. But I saw the situation happening
Yeah.
long before. And so she didn't understand what was going on. It's like, look, it's my job, my responsibility to protect my family.
Yeah.
If I see something happening, even before shit start popping off, nope, we getting up out of here.
Getting up out of here. We moving on.
At the point in time, she didn't understand that. But once the facts came out,
Yeah.
she was like, it was her attitude changed, and it was like, thank you. Because
Yeah.
I didn't know what the heck was going on.
And you don't, I don't need to know what's going on. I see something's about to happen down the road. I don't need to
Yeah.
know. And that's the same thing with provision. Women think provision means the 100K. No, provision is, baby. You know what I'm saying? I'm finna show you, you know what I'm saying? We finna follow this map, and we finna do things the right way. You know what I'm saying? Are we gonna be millionaires? Who knows? But I got this plan mapped out for us, and we're gonna follow it. Now, am I going to consult my spouse about everything? Yes. And see that's the thing that I don't think they understand. They think that it's all about you're telling them what to do. No, it's a decision making. All right, I'm gonna come to my woman, and we're gonna lay out. You as my woman is my first counsel.
Mm-hmm.
I'm never gonna make a decision without talking to my counsel.
Mm-hmm.
All right. On some decisions, we're gonna go with your decision. On some decisions, we're gonna go with mine. That's provision. But they
Mm-hmm.
don't understand that. A lot of people now in these generations don't understand it. They just look at provision as a dollar sign. No,
Yeah,
provision
it's making sure that you have what you need.
what you need.
What you need. And that goes beyond just finances. Is okay, what you need mentally, right? If my woman is depressed because she's not able to work, right? Or she doesn't have a job, then if her desire is to work because it's beneficial to her mental health,
Mm-hmm.
then guess what? Babe, give me your resume.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out here.
Babe,
I'm gonna make the
let's
pop.
go. Tell me what you want. Tell me what you're interested in doing. I'm gonna go work on this resume. I'm gonna put you in a position. The job, my wife, the job she got, I did her resume and applied for the job.
Yeah,
She got the call for the interview, was surprised, did the interview, got the job. That's provisioning. It's about making sure you got what you need.
what you need.
And it's not simply strictly financial. It's mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally, and there's one that I'm forgetting off the top of my head. Financially. And so, you know, a lot of focus is on just on the financial piece.
Yes, and that's our Achilles heel now. Everything, and that's what I'm talking about when I started off earlier about transactional. Everything in love now has become financially transactional, and until we get past that understanding that love is not financially attached together. Love is being with someone where you can look at them and say, I'm going to be back here tomorrow. And I'm going to
Mm-hmm.
be back the day after that. I'm going to be here the day after that. And the day after that. And the day after that. Because you know in those days, you're going to have some highs, you're going to have some lows. But just like your job, you show up every day.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what love is. I know we're going to have some highs, we're going to have some lows, but I'm going to show up every day. I'm going to be here. I'm going to be here when you call me. I'm going to be here when you don't call me. I'm going to call you. And I'm going to let you know that I'm going to be here. No matter what money, no matter what ties and anything, I am going to be here. And until we get back to that, it's going to be hard out here in these streets today.
Yeah.
You're
And
going, you're going to have to the search engine for love is horrible because we have too much of everything. And like I said, it's on both sides. It's not just women, it's men. And we just got to get back to saying, hey, I want to love somebody. I don't want to, you know what I'm saying, have my abilities to love be tied to how much money I got in my pocket. Because basically what you're telling me is if I ain't got no money, you ain't got no love. My money run out, that means your love is gonna run out. And
yep.
and we if that's the outcome, we're doomed for relationships and marriages, and all we're gonna have now from going on is hookups,
Yep. Situationships.
situationships.
And you know what? I think that's probably the topic that we'll cover next week.
I,
Because that's a whole different road to go down. So with that being said, Big G, hey,
was
if
that, baby?
anybody wanted to follow you, where could they find you?
Hey man, you can get all my isms from my IG, wise and smart MF22. The MF, you know what the MF stand for?
So
Yeah,
at Wise and Smart MF22.
yeah, wise and smart MF22. That's where you gonna find it. That's where I be at on everything. You know, my Snapchat. I'm just there for stalking, baby. You know what I'm saying? I don't post. I'm just there for stalking, baby. And that's all I got because my IG is attached to my Facebook, so it's gonna flow over to there. So I just post on IG and it rolls straight to my Facebook. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, wise and smart MF22. Yeah,
All
I got
right, man.
I got a little something going on tomorrow on my on my Instagram. So if they gonna follow, do whatever, you're gonna catch it on my Instagram. It's gonna be talking a little deepness about other topics, but I got something planned for that one there tomorrow. My isms.
Okay, yeah. So tomorrow I actually I got another podcast that I'm gonna be doing. I'm gonna be on the Suck It Up Man podcast.
Suck it up.
Um and so we'll be talking men in relationships and just men's mental health in general.
Yes, sir.
Um and yeah, so hey G, I want to thank you for joining me this evening and we'll have you back on next week so we'll be discussing situationships.
Hey, appreciate it, man. Thanks for reaching out to me, man. Appreciate you.
Hey, no problem, and keep up the good work, man. I
Yes,
be listening to what you be saying. And some of your stuff be a little crazy, but hey, I
it's
get
fun.
what you I get where you going with it. Huh?
Hey, it's for entertainment. You got to throw the entertainment in there. But the message is always in there. It's for entertainment, but the message is always in there.
All right, man. Well, hey, have a good night and wish you the best.
Appreciate
Till
it,
next
brother.
week,
Take
bro.
care. Yes, sir.
All right, bye-bye. If you liked the discussion that we had today, feel free to leave a like, a comment, and subscribe. And drop a question that you got for myself or for Big G in the comments, and we'll talk about it next week on our next discussion. You guys be blessed.